This is how to change the oil in a 2014 to 2018 Mazda 3. You will need OW20 synthetic oil. The Mazda manual recommends Castrol. You'll also need a new oil filter. I got a K&N HP 1008, but there's a couple other brands you could buy that would also work. You'll need an 8mm hex bit for the oil drain plug, an 8mm socket for the two screws for the plastic cover, a socket wrench, and really you should have a torque wrench as well, a filter wrench, a funnel, and an oil drain pan. So make sure the car is parked on level ground and remove the oil fill cap. Underneath the car, you're going to need to remove this cover. As you can see, there's 4 separate fasteners, 2 rivet clips, and 2 screws. You could use the 8mm socket, or you could also use a Phillips screwdriver to take these 2 screws out. For the rivet clips, they actually make a special tool to remove these, but I didn't have it, so I used a utility knife. So with the panel removed, you can see the oil filter right there, and also up to the right of it, you can see the oil drain plug. Use the 8mm hex bit and a socket wrench to remove the oil drain plug. You should always make sure the engine isn't too hot before removing the oil drain plug, so you don't burn your hand. But once you pull it out, all the oil will drain into your drain pan. So here's the oil drain plug. Just clean the oil off of it. And then you'll notice that there's a washer. That's the silver piece. You're actually supposed to replace that, is what it says in the manual, but you can usually get like 2 or 3 oil changes out of it before you have to replace it. So wipe off the bottom of the engine where the plug is going to go back into, and reinsert the plug, hand tighten it. Then you're going to want to get a wrench and tighten it with a wrench. Here's the torque specifications. So since I already had a K&N filter on here, I was able to try and use a crescent wrench, but you'll likely not have this same filter, so you won't be able to do this. It ended up not working anyway, and I got my oil filter wrench to try and use that, which ended up not working either. So I ended up just having to get a giant pair of vice grips and start unscrewing it. So once the filter is loose enough, you'll see oil start running down the side of it. Just keep unscrewing it. Make sure you're catching all the oil out of the bottom, and just keep turning till it comes completely off. Then wipe off the bottom of the engine where the oil filter screws on. So take your new filter and fill it with new oil. Then just take your finger and run it around the rubber seal. That way it seals well to the bottom of the engine. Then take the oil filter and screw it back up into the engine. The torque specs for torquing the oil filter. So depending on if you have the 2 liter or the 2.5 liter, that's going to determine how much oil you're going to have to add back in. So insert the funnel into the top of the engine and add new oil. So I usually don't add all the oil at once. I add the majority of it and then start the car and check for leaks underneath the engine, make sure everything's okay. Turn the engine back off and check your oil level. See where you are on the dipstick, and if obviously if you're low, add more, which you probably will be if you didn't add it all at once. Then reinstall the plastic panel. Just insert the 2 clips. They just push right in. And then the 2 screws screw back in. So you'll likely have an orange wrench on your dashboard. And the last step is to reset the oil monitor. So just go into Applications, Vehicle Status Monitor, Maintenance, go down to Oil Change, and go down to Reset. And then hit Reset again to confirm. And you can see that the wrench has gone away. And that's it.